Hello, Laziali all over the world. Welcome to the episode of Lazio Lounge. I'm Vittorio Campanile. With me, as usual, Alistair McKenzie, who is drinking some wine, and I can understand what after this great performance from Lazio, who's just got a point from Benevento, not Real Madrid, Benevento. Alistair, another terrible performance. The only difference, I think, against Verona, Lazio played probably a little bit better, but didn't get the point. Here, 1 point, but doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't change that much on the table for Lazio. Lazio needed 3 points tonight, and they didn't come.
No, and it's the end of this this run we talked about after the Verona game.
Yep.
These 5 games that were supposed to be the turning point, really, for the season in many ways. Because, I mean, let's be honest, when we started this run of fixtures, we weren't exactly doing brilliantly in the league. But because of the Champions League performances, there was still a way of, I guess, convincing ourselves that this team was, still at the same level as last season, still capable of doing well in Serie A. But I think taking 7 points from 5 games against Crotone, Spezia, Benevento, Verona, Udinese is, by anyone's standards, bad. Even if you're fighting for relegation, that's not great.
Yeah, it's simply not acceptable. Simply not acceptable. And the thing that drives me crazy, we're going to talk about the ref later, is some players like Luis Alberto today, they were simply, they drive me crazy. Luis Alberto had at least 3 chances where Ciro Immobile was all alone in front of the goalkeeper and he tried to go all the way and score. On the first one, he hit the post, but there was Marusic and Ciro Immobile on the left side, all alone in front of the goalkeeper. Then it happened a second time, and this time he didn't even hit the post. And then in the second half, I think Ciro Immobile, till Pereira came in, didn't touch the ball once. I think we have really a problem with Luis Alberto because the fact that he has 0 assists, it's because he never passed the ball anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I mean, he was, 2 inches away from scoring what would have been a great goal. I wasn't that critical of the fact that he took on the shot instead of passing it when he hit the post tonight, but it was my criticism for him is more the way he just completely drifted out of the game. It was almost to a point where you forgot he was on the pitch, and that against a team like Benevento, and it's easy. It's all in front of you if you're watching this match. They just have 2 lines, one in defence, one in midfield, and they're just defending and they want a counter attack. That's not unusual. That's not something to criticise him for. That's just the way it is. But in those games, you need a player like Alberto more than ever to be on the ball, to be asking, to be moving between spaces, to be pulling defenders around, to be getting that shape out of position in the Benevento defence. And he wasn't doing any of that, really. And to almost accentuate that as much as possible was Pereira's impact. Because 10 minutes on the pitch, I wrote this on Twitter, I stand by it now, I think he has a real case of being Lazio's man of the match, and he only played for 10 minutes. Because the time he was on the pitch, he made more happen than anyone else did the entire game. And it made Alberto look like a bit of a joke in comparison, to be honest.
Definitely. He made more assists in 10 minutes than Luis Alberto. More balls in the box, dangerous, than Luis Alberto in 80. Sorry, I was watching on the right because they just show again the penalty for Lazio. It was a clear penalty. Handball on... Correa assist. Now I don't remember who was number 3 of Benevento, but the hand is wide. Who was Letizia? Yeah, it was clear penalty. That's simply embarrassing. That's simply not acceptable. Again, Lazio didn't lose and then the last second. This is simply astonishing. The goalkeeper that goes, grab the ball, hits number 18 of Benevento. Loses the ball, Caicedo goes there to score, and the referee stops everything. This is simply a joke.
Well, yeah, I got angry about that as well, but then they said that it wasn't actually for that. It was for a foul on Barba.
But he's saying that he goes up, and when he goes down, he get the foul. So
Looking at it there, Barba just falls over as well. Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, yeah, okay, well, that's quite a good link actually into talking about the goal Lazio conceded as well, because I think both of us mentioned that on Twitter that Reina had to claim that. You know, the goal Lazio conceded tonight was so frustrating in so many ways. But one of the reasons that he should have come out for that is that goalkeepers are so overprotected when they do that. And it frustrates me so much. And this isn't just a Serie A thing, this is a thing in the whole football. But at slightest touch on a goalkeeper and they go down, it's always given as a foul. So if Reina, there's a huge ball hanging up in the air.
He had like 5 seconds.
10 yards from him, you know, less. He can punch it, he can catch it, he can just be there. Because, like I say, if he's there and he's going for it and he falls over it, he'll get a foul. And instead, it's not just his fault, because the whole Lazio defence watch the ball, none of them win it, and then they've all got that time where they're waiting for it to land to think about the second ball, and that's the first thing people talk about when they talk about the right approach to games, the right aggression, the right intensity, is winning the second balls. If it's in your own penalty box, it's even more important. And Lazio players just watch the ball land on a Benevento head, land in front of a Benevento player, and he has a clear passage to go. It is just so frustrating, that goal. There's so many layers of frustration too.
He had like 4 seconds to go out and grab the ball, or at least, you know, punch it away. If things go bad, probably you get a free kick. So, you know, and you have to add something, Alistair, because it all comes from a corner kick, where Reina deflect the ball that is going wide. So, yeah, you always have to cover the ball, but you know, if you let it go, it's not even a corner. They don't score, etc., etc. But I don't know. There are so many problems tonight. Luis Alberto played terrible. Correa lost so many tackles today. I don't know. I feel there's something going on inside the locker. I think there's something yeah.
I was going to say, shall I start reading some of the comments we're getting, because there's been quite a lot of interaction tonight. I don't know where to start really, to be honest, because there's quite a lot of frustration.
The first question is, seeing how Luis Alberto played, why did Andreas Pereira came in so late? It's finished the match. You have to bring Caicedo start warming up. What was it? In the beginning of second half, he came in the last 10 minutes. And you could see that the team was tired. Really, Milinkovic Savic played the full match. You could see that he had fatigue. Luis Alberto disappeared, as you said, and so on. So I don't understand. I blame Inzaghi as well tonight.
I think Inzaghi's got a lot to answer for. It's a point I made at full time, was that he, and it's something he talked about on Monday as well, is that he's already slipped back onto this pattern of, when Lazio are in difficulty, he just reverts back to just doing, like you were saying last time, the same thing over and over again, and hoping for a different result, which is trusting his kind of senators, his most, you know, his longest serving players, his key players, and ignoring the fresher players that he's got available. Because right now is the same situation we were in during the post-COVID bit. Everyone talked about how tired Lazio were, the lack of depth in the squad. That was absolutely true. But as we said at the time, it wasn't actually that there weren't any players. It was that the players who did have energy, Inzaghi wasn't picking them. And the same thing is happening now. Escalante finally gets his first start tonight, and lo and behold, he's one of our best players. I mean, he put in a really good performance in the place of Lucas. But you still have Ciro playing 90 minutes, Sergei playing 90 minutes. The only reason Acerbi wasn't is that he's gone and injured himself because he's being used so much. You know, it's just it's a bit frustrating, and I guess that was my takeaway from this game. Was like, I hope the one lesson that might have been learned by Inzaghi tonight is that if Escalante can play like that, and if Pereira can play like that, maybe it's worth trying these guys from the start. Maybe he can realise that he shouldn't just play the same team in the same system every single week and hope for things to change.
Shall we talk about Pedro Neto?
Oh God.
He scored in the last seconds against Chelsea and couldn't play for Lazio. Nowadays, Simone Inzaghi talking. I mean, it's simply something that I cannot understand. Or there is something special in Wolverhampton that we don't know.
We did have, we did have people asking us to talk about Neto.
I mean, if he's now in the national squad and he couldn't play for Lazio.
Like you're going down a different rabbit hole there. I'm going to try and recalibrate, keep us on the road instead of turning off into a different direction. One of the things people did, a couple of people I've seen now have wanted us to talk about is so Darren L came and said that our wing backs need to do more to create chances, and Daniel Trandafir, hope I said that right, said something along similar lines. He said, why does Marisic rarely get in a position to assist a goal? Why is Lazio so shit at putting a key pass into the box? Well, he does get in positions to do it. So on top of the kind of Pereira-Alberto argument, the wing-backs, again, are a theme that keeps coming back and back in terms of Lazio's lack of creativity. And I think we did see it tonight, Vittorio, again.
Definitely. Again, I thought Lazzari didn't play. What's concerning me about Lazzari is he does really everything perfect and then make the mistake at the end. Today he played well. He was consistent. In the second half, he came in the box, dribbled past one player. He could have put the ball in the middle to Immobile. He tried another dribble pass and then lost it. On the other side, Marusic, let's not forget, he's playing on the wrong side. He's right-footed and plays on the left. So every time he has to cross the ball, he has to go back on the right and cross. This gives time to the defender to track back. And again, we said it in the last podcast, right? We have Javan Anderson. I mean, we have only 4 options. If one doesn't play never, then why do you keep it? Put Keane. At least, Keane is left-footed. He can play there. Instead of having to force Marusic to play on the wrong side. No?
Yeah, well, I think it's been really, obvious in the last couple of games particularly that Marusic is just not really capable of doing much in an attacking sense on the left. He obviously had that great game, the first game of the season against Cagliari, when he was man of the match and went on a rampaging run of form there. But since then, we've just not seen the same thing. And I think in this system in particular, it's kind of built to have people who are able to cross from the the foot of the side they're on. So right footers on the right wing, left footers on the left wing, because he's not really being given the space to be able to cut inside. Whenever he's tried to cut inside, he's just not been able. He's not been good enough. His control's not been good enough to find any space, or the defense has been too clever in being able to work him out. I think the best crosses we've really had have been from the 2 centre backs on either side, whether it's Radu and Patrick or whoever it is playing next, or Milinkovic-Savic. Yeah. So, and I thought that was a really well worked goal today. By the way, the way that Lazio made the run inside and freed up a bit of space for Milinkovic-Savic over on that wing. It wasn't even a very good cross, though. It was just an absolutely incredible piece of striker play from Immobile. I mean, the movement. The defender didn't even know he was there. It was, I mean, today obviously we're very angry about things, but we have to say that is a goal of the season contender. It was incredible.
Absolutely. Best thing of today. Sorry, I'm listening to Simone Inzaghi and I'm struggling to keep calm because
you don't want to talk to me today, do you?
No. Well, they asked him why did he make the substitution late. And he said, because we were playing well, I didn't want to change anything. I don't think we were playing that well. I mean, yeah. And then they said, what about Luis Alberto? And he said, well, Luis Alberto played great match. After Bruges, he pretty much trained only a couple of times. So he's doing an unbelievable job. I don't know. Probably my TV is broken because I don't know. I saw another match. I thought Luis Alberto disappeared in the second half. I thought when Andreas Pereira came in, we were more dangerous. And yes, we played well the first half, but the second half was a disaster. So
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I'm not surprised to hear you said that about Alberto because he's, this is how Inzaghi works with the media. This is his media. The strategy is that he will defend his players at all costs. He will deflect blame. So it's not that unsurprising.
And I agree with you. And this is Simone Inzaghi, right? He's a player's manager. But I hope that he says this to us and then goes to the locker room and and do something. I hope we're playing Sunday, right? I hope Sunday we don't see Luis Alberto start because I think he deserves to stay on the bench. Because seriously, he's not playing with the rest of the team. He's not passing the ball anymore. And the other thing, Alistair, is that I saw him a couple of times when another player made the wrong pass, etc., complaining, instead of encouraging, cheering up. That's not the right behavior you have to have, especially in this situation where the team is struggling. We're not in a streak of victories. We are struggling. So you need, the team to stick together, and he's not doing it.
Well, talking about Inzaghi, there's a question from Adrian, who told us at the start this is a serious question. Okay, so we need to take this seriously. But he says, does Inzaghi acting like a complete clown on the sideline actually help the team? Like when we were crapping ourselves late in the game against Bruges and now chasing a game, the players know they should be winning. How does that help an already tense situation? I don't feel like that's something Inzaghi can really control, though. I think that's just his style. We have talked about this before a bit, haven't we? It's that kind of micromanagement and whether that is actually productive and helpful or not. But I think it's part of the package with Inzaghi, isn't it? You can't you can't stop it. It's too emotional.
Yeah, I think when you see him, pushing the team, it's beneficial, definitely. So I think that's an advantage for the team, feeling the passion, etc. I think what is wrong is maybe sometimes you have to go out and point out someone who's like Luis Alberto, who's not performing as expected.
Yeah, I don't think it is him acting like a clown. I think he is doing it for a reason. He's not doing it for showmanship or so that people like share fun social media videos of him. He's doing it because the thing that worries me, if anything, about it is that he's doing it because he feels the need to motivate the team, that much to be there screaming at them. And I guess there is, on a certain level, you could be concerned about why the team aren't capable of motivating themselves, why he does feel so often the need to be shouting instructions at everyone, and why they aren't playing with, I guess, the intensity that he's asked for at the beginning of the game, and why that needs to be upped throughout the game. But on the other side of the coin, I suppose it's just a way of kind of maintaining that focus or maintaining that concentration, to be there all the time, to be hearing that voice all the time.
I think it's Inzaghi's style, right? It's like Antonio Conte. Every team he went, Conte was like that. So it's his type of managing the team. I think it's not that he feels that they need it. It's even a sort of him leaving the match, right? He works it like that. So, I don't think it's a disadvantage. Obviously, as I said, the substitution today was terrible. I think one of the reasons why Lazio didn't win today, it's the substitution too late. I think Andreas Pereira had a great match and deserved to come in earlier. I hope next Sunday he will start.
What about this? I mean, Joachim Solberg, one of the things he asked us about was Alberto, but we've talked about him. So he also asked us about Reina versus Strakosha, who should play. I am starting to think now, Vittorio, that the argument for the arguments for Reina are kind of getting a bit thin because Strakosha doesn't make many mistakes. Say what you want about Strakosha, his weaknesses are not that he makes howlers, because he doesn't do that very often. Yes, he did it in the Rome derby last season. Yes, they happen now and then. But Reina has now made some quite high-profile mistakes in quite a short space of time for Lazio. He's 38 years old, and Strakosha is 25. So do we really see the future being playing Reina in goal every week?
No. And to be honest, I'm surprised Reina started this week. I thought even after the Club Brugge match, Reina should have been subbed. He made a terrible mistake in that match, and nothing happened. So I don't understand. And the fact that concerned me, Alistair, is that Inzaghi, after, what was it, Club Brugge match, or the week before, said Strakosha is not ready. He's been dealing with the COVID-19 for 1 month, so he's not physical ready. Then the week afterwards, he said, I'm lucky to have 2 goalkeepers. They will rotate, blah, 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 without saying Strakosha is the starter. Now it's playing Reina because Strakosha is not fit. So I fear something changed there, but I really don't understand, because even today, I know people will say, Reina made 2 unbelievable saves, which is not. Twice, Lapadula shot on Reina. He had all the goal empty, and he still was able to hit the goalkeeper. And on the Benevento goal, as we said, he could have done much better. So if he doesn't get subbed now, I don't know when it's going to happen. And again, I think Strakosha bring more on to the table than Reina, honestly.
Yes, and Strakosha hasn't been all that convincing when he's played so far this season either. But you have to add into that the fact that he's had an injury at the end of last season, and then he's had COVID this season, and he's not had much game time. And this is a guy who is so used to playing games because he's played almost every game for Lazio for 4 years. So it's highly unusual for him to be kind of going in and out of the team. So I guess for him, more than for most players, it's very disruptive to be in a position where you're picked 1 week and you're not the next. But I think he needs to come back into the team, if I'm honest. I think I'd quite like to see a few changes. I don't think we will. Saying that, look, we're playing Napoli on Sunday. But Napoli and AC Milan are 2 games now before Christmas. If Inzaghi's not going to trust Andreas Pereira or Escalante or Strakosha or whoever to play against Benevento or Spezia or Crotone, he's never going to do it in these games. So it's really about a change of attitude. I mean, I just think this team. It was like, I remember getting asked after the Dortmund game when we beat them 3-1, the opening game, the Champions League, about what my main kind of thought was after that match. And I remember saying that it was basically that it was kind of a reminder of how good this team actually is. And I still do believe that. This is a really good, it's still the same team, the same group of players with the same coach who are capable of producing performances and nights like that. And I just hope that, having a big game will maybe bring that out in them again. But it's so hard to see right now because of what we've seen in recent weeks. Even getting good results, even the Spezia game, we won that game, still terrible performance. Bruges, 2-2 draw, still a terrible performance. Oof. It's just, it's not been good enough recently.
2 things. One is the mentality. I feel that players like Luis Alberto is thinking only about himself and not how to help the team. And this is a big problem because you win as a team, you lose as a single player. And this is what's happening now. The other thing is, today Escalante played well. I would say he played better than Leva in the last couple of matches. It's encouraging. So I would play him next Sunday. But I fear that if Leva is a little bit fit, he will start. Same discussion about Luis Alberto. I cannot see Inzaghi dropping Luis Alberto in a match like against Milan or Napoli. It will never happen. Even though Andreas Pereira today really was encouraging, really was promising. So, yeah. Same thing with Reina, fear. So this is the most concerning part. Milinkovic-Savic was so tired today. I'm concerned because Sunday there's a big match. I can see Parolo stepping up playing, but not Andreas Pereira, for example.
Can I just depress you a little bit before we talk about the Champions League draw?
Go for it.
I've just seen on Opta that Lazio's 18 points from 12 games is the lowest they've had since 2015-16. That's not actually as bad as I thought it might be.
But we arrived at 8th.
But we finished 8th that season, yeah. And we've talked about this before, how Lazio used to, especially in the kind of Pioli years, Rea years, actually not so much Rea, but around the Pioli time, have kind of one good season, one bad season, and kind of yo-yo like that because they basically didn't have enough to be competing in Europe and domestically at the same time. And I kind of hoped that we were past that, but I mean, it's starting to look like that again because, brilliant 2017-18 season, bad 18-19 season, finished, 9th, 8th or 9th? I think it was
but
9th,
you won a Coppa Italia. How can you say
you
that?
won it, yeah, but that's what I mean, though. I mean, I'm talking about Serie A performance. And then last season, obviously top 4, but then this season, it's starting to look a bit like that again, which is worrying. But I mean, I should reiterate, I don't want to be that guy who's making huge decisions about the season after 12 games because there's a hell of a long time to go still. But
yes, I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm seeing this team and say, wow, this year could really end badly. If you ask me now, I don't think Lazio will reach the Champions League spot, and we could even struggle to reach the Europa League this year because there are so many good teams. And let's not forget something. Lazio, in the recent past, have always started very well and then decline at the end of the season. If we already start bad, I mean, what will happen next in the second half of the season? I'm really, 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 really concerned because usually Lazio make most of the point at the beginning of the season, and in the second half they start to lose points. We started too early, I think, and this is a problem. Even because this year there's Juventus, Inter, Napoli, Milan, Fiorentina, Roma, Atalanta. There are a lot of Sassuolo, a lot of good teams that could finish above Lazio. Especially,
you just say Fiorentina.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Fiorentina doesn't make sense. Sorry, but Sassuolo, Atalanta, a lot of good teams. We can definitely finish 9th if we continue to play like that. I don't know. Do you think there's something relation with the fact that Inzaghi still didn't renew his contract?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's clear that it's clear that to me that the Champions League is a big deal for this squad and this group of players, and the fact that they've reached it, and for all of them, they're clearly capable of giving an extra level in that competition than they are in Serie A.
But
and I do just wonder if they. Yeah, but I know, but in general, the best we've seen from this team this season has been in the Champions League, and I think that it does worry me a little bit because it does feel a little bit like they feel like they've kind of achieved their goal in Serie A, which was to get there, and now it's okay. Let's focus on Europe, but we can't afford to do that. Okay, we basically. Well, this is a good segue into talking about the last 16 draw, but we've got Bayern Munich. I mean, this is going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant, but it's probably going to be the end. Let's be honest. I mean, I love to be positive, but I just cannot see us beating Bayern over 2 legs. I don't know. My first reaction to it was kind of like, I think I screamed at the TV. I was like, shit. but then I started getting quite excited about it because it was kind of what we lacked in the group stage, was that kind of testing yourself against the very best. And we do have now literally the very best, the European champions. So,
I mean, I would have been happier with Real Madrid or Chelsea because a top team that I think they're struggling this year. with Bayern Munich, really, you picked the best team, right? Everybody was saying, well, avoid Bayern Munich because it's the best. And obviously, Lazio luck, we got Bayern Munich. Yeah, Lazio hasn't been very lucky. It's not a lucky moment for Lazio. I think really we have, I said like 25% of chances to go through, because I still think that the thing is, Alistair, is that we have nothing to lose against Bayern Munich. So
Yeah.
I think the players will be more relaxed and give everything. They know they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, on Twitter, we asked people a bit on Monday about how they felt about it, and that was generally the reaction was, at this point, everyone's writing Lazio off, so who cares? It's almost a free shot. I mean, I'll try and find some now. Ben Thomas said it could strangely be a blessing in disguise. Leo said you've got to love it. It's a chance for Lazio to grab centre stage and measure up against the best. What's the downside? We get hammered, so what? We lick our wounds and we move on. Tom said we knew it would be a tough draw. Why not take on the defending champions? So yeah, I mean, I think there has been a big degree of that, where it feels like, we're in the Champions League knockout stages. Why not? But the thing is, it's one thing for us as fans to say that. It's another thing for the players to actually have that freedom of thought and be able to go out and try and express themselves against a team that beat Barcelona 8-2 only a few months ago in one game, not over two legs.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was hoping to get another team. I mean, I would be hoping to get Real Madrid because we had a chance to go through. Now we have very slim chances. So, and the other side, Alistair, if I'm not wrong, it's those two legs are between us playing against Inter and Juventus, something like that.
I need to double check that. Yeah, it's. Hang on a second. Hang on, I'm just getting the fixtures up. We have Sampdoria on the 21st, then Bayern on the 23rd, then Bologna 28th, Torino March the 3rd, Juventus March the 6th, Crotone March the 14th, and then Bayern Wednesday the 17th. So yeah, it's not no, it's not that bad. It's just there is Juve, but Juve are on 2 weeks almost before the second leg, so it's okay.
Okay, better. Alistair, I think we can wrap it up here. All good news, right? It has been a positive pod.
Yes. Hopefully it can be again at some point. But yeah, we got to take the good with the bads. We had a lot of good last season, so now we're paying our penance.
Do you think now playing against Milan and Napoli, it's a good thing as we played so poorly against the small teams?
Well, I mean, I can't say I think it's a good thing because I can't really envisage a position right now where we're going to get anything from those matches. Napoli at home, you'd usually think, okay, maybe, but there's no crowd, and without the crowd, Lazio have struggled so badly at home. So I don't think that Napoli team is particularly more impressive than this Lazio team, but on current form, they're absolutely flying. Yeah, so no, I'm not feeling totally optimistic, but all we can do is hope. All we can do is hope.
Okay. Thank you again, Alistair. Thanks everybody for listening. Remember, you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and if you want to support the podcast, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. And we're going to talk again this week after Lazio match on Sunday, and maybe we are going to be more positive, more happier after Lazio Napoli. Who knows? Maybe they're going to surprise us. Thanks, Alistair.
Cheers. See you next time.